Let's do a little update for the monetization after 1 month of tracking. A couple of months of being a little bit more serious. My very first video in this playlist is about the distinction between being interested in and committed to. So I finished my first full month. I skipped last week in a monetization video last week, and let's talk about what we've done so far. So my October recap. 21 videos, 9 shorts, 2 live streams. I got more views than ever. That's what happens when you focus on something and track something. People watched my channel 4.8 thousand times. That is 446 more than September. Most viewers were new to my channel. Hi, new people. Say hi in the comments. They watched most recent uploads. 23 shares. Like, shares? That's the best kudos you can get. So I'm recording this on a Osmo Pocket 3, which I'm very excited about having. I noticed that last week one of the reasons I didn't get a video uploaded is everything was just so discombobulated in my head and in my body and my being. I have frozen shoulder right now, and last week was an all-time pain high. Manage it, and I was trying to set up some recording. Have you had those times where just like nothing works? And it's so frustrating. I work off of a Mac desktop. Because I have trouble seeing, I have to have a big monitor, and I do a lot of my editing, I do a lot of my recordings with my iPhone, and I had a gimbal, but you have to put the phone on the gimbal, and then if you need to do something on the phone is on the gimbal, and it's like all wobbling around, and I just got so frustrated. I pulled up iMovie a couple times and just got completely frustrated. It just wasn't intuitive to me. And there was a video that I did end up making, and I edited it on my phone on CapCut, and then just on a whim last week, I was gonna wait until I had 1,000 subscribers and buy this little pocket thing for myself as a reward. Now, I will say that it's super nice and handy, and what I like is that I can record, and then if I want to have this available to me as a separate device, that works. Now, when I set this on my desk, even with the tripod, it's a little low, so I had to find another tripod to get it on my desk at a height that I like. It's fine if I'm not at my desk. Anyways, so far so good. I'm loving it. This is really the first piece of content that I've made with it. The other thing, I finally took a nice deep breath, because I had been so frustrated with some of the editing tools that I use. And I really like Descript for putting something up, taking the transcript, and then editing out my filler language. Anybody else relate to seeing how much filler language you actually use? Oof. So many years of content without erasing any ums or and so's. I Google searched, is there a desktop version of CapCut? And there is, and it is just so much more intuitive for me to use. I'm excited about that. It also has like the long video to clips feature, which Descript also has, but CapCut has more visual elements that, I don't know, I'm figuring out my systems, but I felt a sense of relief if I wanted to do a little bit more advanced editing. The other thing that's been a little bit of a challenge has been my brain is telling me you're spending all this time focusing energy on YouTube and it's not doing anything for your business, and you need to be working on selling your coaching and communicating with your regular audience and all these other things. A bit of shame. Okay, I work with that. So did some de-shaming, and actually the other day I ended up just realizing, oh my gosh, this is really good. Follow the feel good, follow the flow. I love to learn new things, and doing this YouTube monetization, not just with the goal of monetization, but really being committed to getting better at something. I also want to be better at giving value in my videos. So it's not just about the numbers, but like this week when someone put a comment on one of my shorts, I think, and said, hey, at the end, you mentioned letters from love. Tell me more about that practice. And so I did a little bit longer video about that practice. And then their comment back was that it was so helpful. Highlight of my YouTube monetization, growth, whatever you want to call it, take this stuff seriously journey so far. When I get back to my desk, I'll share some. I think I got 10 in the last 2 weeks, 10 to 12 subscribers, something like that. I'm not going super fast on any of those trajectories, and I just cannot beat myself up about it. I do notice that I get in my head about content. Like, I have hundreds of ideas. I have tons of old content. It's been easier for me to repurpose some old content unless I get this little like, okay, this is last week's update. I guess technically tomorrow would be, so I'll do kind of a combo. Last week I had 405 subscribers. This week I have 410. Last week I had 5,000 views. This week it says 4.4 thousand views over the last 28 days. That's how, I guess, how I've been reporting it. My watch time, let's see, the watch time in the last 365 days. Where's that watch time? Well, let's just do the last 28. Okay, the watch time, so this is not in towards the number of hours to monetize, but it does say my watch time is up 31.6% to 61.6 hours. Last week it was 65. And it says I have 164 out of the 4,000 watch hours. Yeah, that's a long way to go, but we'll keep going. Creative burst, and I love working on creative burst. I've built my business on, this share your heart, show your work, love on your people mojo that I have had for years. I had a very big capacity for consistency and creativity and connection in my business, and I feel like I'm rebuilding some neurosynapses for the consistency of marketing and of talking about my business. I've got the being human and the vulnerability and the authenticity down, but this professional self, which is very similar to the authentic self, but the part of me that leads with the ways I'm able to give value to help people, to help them help themselves, to help them see themselves in the world in a way that is nourishing and helpful to their better life, better work. For some reason, I'm either in a mindset spin about it, I'm doing my practices, or part of the autism masking that fell off in the last 2 years, that confidence was connected to those neurosynapses, which is very possible. And that mask comes off, right? There's little subtrails, and it's just time to, there's a thing like with habits where you habit stack, right? If you do one thing, then it reminds you of another thing. So those things, real great descriptor, Allison, those things are kind of clumped together. I feel like some of my clumps got blown apart, and then I end up with a part of me that is like, why don't you know how to do this? You did this for years. What's wrong with you? And then it just takes a little bit more time to be gentle and kind and compassionate. And it's perfect because this whole midlife thing is like, midlife is different. We cannot compare our midlife selves to our 30-year-old selves. The other day I heard a man talk about what to do if you're stuck, and he was like, oh, when I was 29 and stuck, I decided to do a marathon, and I just wanted to give him the bird and go, yeah, you're a 29-year-old white man. wanting to do a marathon. Good for you. I'm so like those traditional things. First of all, not 29, not 39, not 49. And my capacity is completely different after some life events and after some health conditions and a new health diagnosis. Like part of me like, are you sick all the time now? Is this what being older is? And I just realized that I have some chronic health conditions that impact my capacity. And that's actually a really good thing. It doesn't feel good in the moment or the time. I don't know why I come out here and make videos in the fire ants. Yeah. So I have been doing some more positive practice in addition to meeting with the difficult parts of me, like the shame, blame, guilt, comparison, all that other stuff that is going to come up when you're going after a goal, when you're going after something you care about. It's not all roses. And learning what supports I have outside of me. So AI and some of these tools and some of this gear, I'm already a gearhead, but some of this gear has actually made a difference in making things easier for me, and setting up systems and ways of doing things is making things easier for me so that I have more time and space to deal with the mindset work. I'm not just shoving like my inner critic or my inner doubter or the parts of me that are less confident than they have in the past, not just shoving them away, but caring for them as we go along this journey so that they are not stuffed down inside my body. But in IFS, we call it leading all parts of us. Yeah. And so doing that work, also adding the intentional synapse building of, I've been doing some I am affirmation work. I've been listening to some affirmation work while I sleep. I have been writing loving confidence thoughts to myself to add to that learning new things. Yeah, so I feel good after October. That's nice to have completed like one full month of tracking. And it's November 3rd. And wouldn't it be nice today if I kind of got a little plan for myself for the month ahead? What would we like to do? I'm thinking diving into more IFS videos. There was a couple of years ago when I was doing lots of IFS videos in my early learning stages of it. I was just so excited about it. And I've actually been listening to some of those for my own heart. And there was something that happened in the IFS world. I mean, midlife does that, right? Like just all the damn drama. And I don't want to be a victim of the drama, right? We can live in a world that happens to us, and there are a lot of things that happen to us. And what do we want to, that's the question I'm asking myself. After all these things happened in a short amount of time that really almost took me out, what do I want to cultivate? What do I want to create? Why do I want to create it? What's important about it? What do I want to believe about myself? What do I want to believe about my audience? What do I want to believe about my ability? Okay, this is last week's update. I guess technically tomorrow would be, so I'll do kind of a combo. Last week I had 405 subscribers. This week I have 410. Last week I had 5,000 views. This week it says 4.4 thousand views over the last 28 days. And it says I have 164 out of the 4,000 watch hours. Yeah, that's a long way to go, but we'll keep going.